I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpm.fm to discover more.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
When I bump into something that inspires me, I dump it in my spark file. Could be something that I wanna make or how I wanna be. I pump it in my spark file. I jump into my spark file. Let's open up the spark file.
Welcome to the Town Hall Spark Sessions. I'm Laura Camion.
And I'm Susan Blackwell. We are creativity coaches at the Spark File, where we help people fear less and create more.
As creatives ourselves, we are obsessed with one of the most dynamic cultural centers in New York City, the Town Hall.
For over a century, the Town Hall has been a champion for artistry and advocacy, amplifying the voices of icons and emerging artists alike.
And now, aren't we lucky? The Spark File and the Town Hall have joined forces to elevate and celebrate artists who are gracing the stage at the Town Hall and using their creativity to fight for the powers of good.
So without further ado, let's get into the Town Hall Spark Sessions. Laura Camion, I am so excited to share with you this human spark, Laura Benanti. Laura Benanti is an old friend of the Spark File podcast. She is beloved by Broadway audiences for good reason. Remember her Tony Award-winning work in shows like Gypsy, starring Patti LuPone, and she's also loved by TV audiences for her portrayal of Melania Trump on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And also, she's a kick-ass originating artist, and her solo comedy show, Laura Benanti, Nobody Cares, is headed to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this summer, starting July 30th. Laura Benanti is everywhere you want to be. And today, she's on the Town Hall Spark Sessions.
I'm just over here making a whole bunch of noises because I'm so excited.
Laura Benanti is such a kick in the pants. She's so authentic and honest, besides being wildly talented. So I had the pleasure of speaking with her in advance of her upcoming turn at the Town Hall in John Cassavetes' Opening Night. That is the full title, John Cassavetes' Opening Night, which is the first stage musical with music, lyrics, and orchestrations by Rufus Wainwright.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be an incredible show.
That's going to be an incredible show at the Town Hall, and I cannot wait to share with you my conversation with Laura Benanti. Let's get into it. Welcome, Laura Benanti. Thank you so much for joining us on the Town Hall Spark Sessions podcast. We are so happy to have you because we love you. And I'm about to ask you a little handful of questions, but before I do, tell us, how do you identify creatively?
I guess I say I'm an actor, even though I also find it humiliating to say out loud, because I think the inner critic in me is like, well, if you were a successful actor, they wouldn't have to ask you what you do for a living. You know, I have that piece of me. But yeah, I guess that's what I say.
That's so interesting to me because I think of you as so much more than that, creatively speaking.
But what do I say? What do I go like? I'm an actor / singer / creator. Like, I don't know what to say. I guess performer, I could say.
You could say performer, but I would also put writer front and center.
Maybe I'm going to say I'm a writer. Maybe that'll also make me feel better about myself.
Get a pair of glasses, look real smart. Say you're a writer.
Yeah. I'm a writer and adopt a British accent.
I hope so. Laura, tell us about what you're doing at Town Hall on September 15th with Rufus Wainwright. This is a very classy shenanigan that you're up to.
First of all, I have been obsessed with Rufus Wainwright since I was like I don't know, 22.
Same.
I remember I had like a very bad boyfriend who, I don't know, maybe he was 21 and he was just like the worst. But he introduced me to Rufus Wainwright, so I'll take it.
I love it. I love the little takeaways when,
Yeah.
you have an experience and you're like, ugh, doing that show was awful. But you know who I got out of it?
Yes.
I got out of that relationship. I got Rufus Wainwright. That's a good
Yeah.
takeaway.
But what was interesting is I was like, wow, you introduced me to him. And also Rufus Wainwright taught me how to break up with you through his music. He like illuminated everything I don't like about you. So you have yourself to blame.
Thank you, Rufus.
So when he like messaged me about doing a show with him, like at City Winery, I don't know, a couple of years ago, or time is what is time. And I was like, is this a joke? And then I sang with him, which was incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then he reached out to me to ask me to do this. And I am just thrilled. I can't believe it.
The cast of this thing is so crazy.
So good.
It is called John Cassavetes' Opening Night, this bananas source material and this amazing cast. Besides your upcoming event at Town Hall, what is sparking your creativity right now?
Well, I wrote this show called Laura Benanti, Nobody Cares for Audible. And I did it for like a weekend last year. Then they brought me back for like 18 performances, which they hadn't done before, which feels really exciting. And I am going to do it at Edinburgh Fringe Festival this summer in Scotland, which is a bucket list thing for me. I'm really excited about it. And I've written it. It was like 75 minutes before, and I've gotten it down to 64 minutes. Todd Almond and I co-wrote the songs on it, and he's been really, so helpful in terms of the structure of the show and like helping reflect back to me what I'm like really trying to say. And he's just a remarkable artist and person, and I love him so much.
Love him.
He's the best. I'm really excited about it. I feel really good about the place it's in right now. And then I'm doing it in London on September 2nd at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. And then it's a very high likelihood that we will film it. Amy Schumer and her producing partner, Dan Powell at Iron Point Productions, they are investigating filming it, and then, try to sell it and get it out there. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm like, I'll put it out on YouTube. For me, it feels like, I feel like I've done a bunch of different things that showcase different aspects of what I enjoy and or do well.
Mm-hmm.
I have felt fully seen on Broadway. Like I felt that way in Gypsy. I felt that way in My Fair Lady. I felt that way a little bit in She Loves Me. But not really ever in TV and film. Like maybe I did this film called Worth, maybe the Gilded Age a little bit, but I've never really felt like I've done the thing that makes people go, that's who she is.
The full expression.
And yeah. And I feel like this is truly the full expression of me. I get to sing songs that I wrote with Todd. I get to say words that I wrote, telling my story of a lived life. And I get to be funny and I get to connect with an audience. And so I'm really excited about it. And I also feel this sense of hope of like, if decision makers get to see it, then maybe it will open up more for me in terms of the wholeness of my artistry. And maybe not.
I love that. To all of this, I say yes. Laura Benanti, tell me something real about your creative process.
I am not a person who can be like, I'm sitting down to write this now. Like I find that it sparks in me at random. A lot of times going for a walk.
Yes.
Like which, I don't get to do a lot. I have 2 young children and a lot of responsibility in that area. But when I go for a walk, I really feel it. Sometimes, like right before I go to bed, I find where I'm in that space between consciousness and unconsciousness.
Yep.
In that sort of Jungian space, things will come to me. And then for this particular show, like my husband was really helpful in terms of like asking me questions.
Oh, nice.
And prompting me. It helped me a lot.
Was he doing that consciously?
Kind of, yeah. Because he and I would just like sort of joke around. And so a lot of the funny jokes that happened within the show were because he and I were like laughing and talking about stuff.
The best.
And then he was like, I had written this section for the show that was not good. And he was like, can I ask you some questions about like what you're trying to say here?
Oh, I love him for this.
It really helped me. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. And then he was like, let's figure out like how you want to say it. And then ask me questions about how to accomplish that. And then also Todd, talking to Todd, and who has known me for 20 years and knows me in a different way than my husband knows me. And so getting his perspective on the version of me that I'm putting out into the world,
Yeah.
So I think it's a long-winded way of saying there's like no real structure to it. It's just like when inspiration strikes, which is also hard because I wish I had more of a process of like, I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to journal. But like my kids are like, journal me some breakfast.
Yeah. Can I ask you, do you have a consistent practice of capturing those things when they do come to you? Are you like, that's a sweet, sweet gem, and you somehow get it into your phone or you get it down?
Yeah. I voice note it.
Yeah.
Like right away, so I don't lose it. And if it's short, I just like put it in the notes app in my phone.
Totally.
But my husband is like, you need to carry a journal, because when I physically write things out, it's better.
That makes sense to me. And I'm not mad about accessing a Google Doc or a notes app in a phone.
I'm not going to carry a journal.
Well, you get those glasses. You look real smart as a writer. You carry your journal. That's what we call a callback.
Exactly. Like, who am I, Sherlock Holmes?
And a deerstalker cap. Yes.
I'm not solving crimes.
Aren't you?
I mean.
And then another reflection on what you just shared. I was just having a conversation with one of our creativity coaching clients about this very thing you're describing of walking and what a fertile time that is for you. Idea-wise.
Big time.
And also that liminal space where you're like, that twilight, I'm not quite awake. I'm not quite asleep yet.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I have said to Laura Camion, I had this idea while I was working out this morning and I wanted to remember to tell you.
Yes.
I think there's something about those brain states that are brought about by either circulation or that liminal space. And the thing I was sharing with our coaching client is sometimes I will ask, this is Julia Cameron, Artist Way, I believe.
Yeah.
Little Susan will say to capital S Susan, there's that part that I wrote that I don't quite love. Can you work on that for me before I go to sleep? And then I'll see sort of what gems pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very Jungian too, like the Jungian dream work of asking your inner self or your, subconscious mind to like reveal to you specific things.
Make them do the work.
Yeah. I mean, I had an acting coach in LA who worked on that with me where, if you're trying to crack something, like whether it be like, dear inner self, please reveal to me in my dream tonight how I can best show up to this difficult work environment tomorrow.
Yes.
And then whatever image you get, when you wake up in the morning, if you can, draw that image with your non-dominant hand and then just like focus. And I'm a terrible artist. You don't have to be like a good artist. And then sort of reflect on that throughout the day. Just like let yourself be with it. And then allow yourself like creative free flow writing when you can throughout the day. And like, when I am able to focus on myself that much, I have found it to be incredibly helpful. And you can also ask like whatever character you're playing, like how to best align yourself with that of your character. And I do find all of that dreamscape stuff to be really cool.
As a creative, how are you navigating this particular moment in time?
I'm not great with what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
In particular, watching watching children be ripped from their parents, watching masked cowards pull women by the hair and throw them to the ground. The absolute, I think, evil cowards at the helm. Like, I'm not a huge J.K. Rowling person anymore, but I was super into Harry Potter, and it just feels like Voldemort. It feels like when you had to hide in a closet to work on your like white magic.
Yes.
That's what it feels like to me. And again, like my husband and I were talking about, how do we protect the space of our home and our own mental health whilst engaging actively in community? Because what I do not feel I can do is go like, I'm protecting my peace. Like, no, privileged white woman, you don't get to protect your peace to a certain extent so that you can then also be of service.
Right.
And so that I'm not a toxic waste in my home, creating sadness or fear in my children. So, Mary Mitchell Campbell and I and Lynn Pinto, back in 2018, when families were being separated, we produced this album called Singing You Home. It's a dual language children's album. To benefit Raices, which is an organization in Texas. They're the oldest immigration services organization in Texas. And they're working now triple time all over the country, obviously, on behalf of immigrants. So 100% of the proceeds go to them, which is astonishing. Every single artist on that album, musicians, and even the record label is like, take all the money, which is kind of unheard of. So
amazing.
That helped me in terms of feeling like being of service in some way, trying to be part of the solution within my own small community. But there is overwhelm. I think with social media, we're not meant to digest this much information from that many different people while getting 1,000 text messages and emails, and everyone expects an immediate response. Like, I feel like our fight or flight is already or I should speak for myself, my fight or flight is already so activated, even without the landscape that we find ourselves in. And I really am struggling to pull myself out from it. And I've tried to sort of do it with humor on Instagram, do it with humor through my Melania impression. Be as active as I just mentioned. And also like meditate and try to get myself into a space where I can raise children who feel loved and safe enough to also then be an active community member.
It's a lot, but I have to say, for what it's worth, Laura Benanti, I feel like you really are a beautiful possibility for how to first make sure that you and your family have your oxygen masks on and you have a foundation to operate from, and then that you flow it into your humor and you flow it into that album. Your activism and your creativity sort of intertwine. I think we all can feel like we're not doing enough ever.
Yes.
And we're failing miserably.
Yeah.
But from the outside, you've got some things figured out.
Thank you. I just also feel so mad.
Yeah.
And I don't like feeling this angry.
Yeah. Chronically
yeah.
angry. Yeah. This is why I love Town Hall, frankly, is because it's in their history, started by suffragists and people who are really contributing to this conversation.
Yeah.
And so when you're on that stage at Town Hall, I want you to know you're in such good company.
Yeah.
The artists that have come before you.
Yeah.
Final question. You work so hard and you're so committed to your creativity. What's it all for?
Phew. It keeps me alive.
Yeah.
When I'm in it, when I am activated in it, when I am allowing myself to be in the center of it, it is the lens through which I am able to see the world. And when I look through that lens, I am kinder and I have more empathy and I have more connection to people I'm angry at. And I feel even more connected to people I'm aligned with. But I am like in this midlife crisis place of like, why are we here? It can only be love. It can only be love, right? Like that can be the only reason.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm in such a state at my inability to access my love as much as I want to.
Laura Benanti, I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I'm so thankful to you for doing this. Now, please go do something fun and enjoy this summer day. Thank you so much to our guest, Laura Benanti, for joining us for the Town Hall Spark Sessions. And thanks to the team at the Town Hall who make all of this shenanigan possible.
The Town Hall and this episode of the Town Hall Spark Sessions were made on the lands of the Lenape people.
If you would like to learn more about the SparkFile Creativity Coaching and how we can support you as you clarify and accomplish your creative goals, you can visit thesparkfile.com and you can follow us on socials at The Sparkfile.
To learn more about the Town Hall and their exciting upcoming events, go to thetownhall.org, follow them at Town Hall NYC, and visit them at 123 West 43rd Street in the heart of New York City. It's all happening at the Town Hall.
And if something you heard inspired you to use your creativity for the powers of good, we're writing you a forever permission slip to make that thing that's been knocking at your door. It's your turn to take that spark and fan it into a flame.
Let's wrap it up with the Town Hall Ensemble. Take it away.
Hey there, I'm Alan Seals, host of the Theater Podcast, a weekly podcast that takes you behind the scenes with intimate personal conversations that include the biggest stars on Broadway, TV, and film. My podcast has over 350 episodes with guests including Stephanie J. Block, Carrie Butler, James Monroe Iglehart, Andrew Barth Feldman, Alex Brightman, Patti LuPone, Ramin Karimloo, Brian Stokes Mitchell, and even TV stars like Isaac Mizrahi, Ariana Madix, Michael Urie, Eddie Izzard, and literally so many more. My guests have spilled secrets, told coming out stories, discussed their fears and successes, and even had huge epiphanies live in the episodes, so you're bound to hear some things from my guests that you've never heard anywhere else. I've also got many deep dive takeovers on the podcast, which are consecutive episodes dedicated to cast and creatives from a single show, like The Outsiders, Back to the Future, and Juliet, Wicked, Beetlejuice, Hadestown, Frozen 6. I could go on. Can you tell I like theater? I've definitely got something you're going to enjoy. So go ahead, search for your favorite star and listen to their episode. You can find all the info about the podcast at bpn.fm/TTP, on the Broadway Podcast Network, or anywhere podcasts are found. If you need that link again, it's bpn.fm/TTP.
Take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful.